Okay, wait. Before opening the book. Okay, before opening the book, yesterday you had, just a second. Yesterday you had homework to read chapter 2. Now I will ask you some questions to make sure that you have done your homework. But first of all, we'll start with chapter 1. Questions for chapter 1. Who's Mr. Lockwood? Very hand. Be ready with the notebook, okay? Put down the names for the ones who did not do the homework. Okay, no problem. I won't ask you, but you have to listen. Who was Mr. Lockwood? Koalos. Thrush Grant. He was the new tenant of Thrush Grant. Okay. And who is the tenant? Who was the landlord? Yeah, the one who has the house, and he takes the money to keep someone in the house. No, it's not the Earnshaw. Who? Heathcliff. Heathcliff was the landlord. Talal, one more word in Arabic, and you will be punished.
Is this the no?
No, before that, wait. Okay, now we know that there are dogs at the Heathcliff's house, at the Wuthering Heights. Now, what kind of dogs are they? Okay, Amar. They are guards, okay? They are trained to guard the house. They are not treated like pets inside the house. They're treated like, to guard the house and...
Everybody touches anything, the dogs attack him to defend the property of the house. Ahmed Muhammad Salah.
Okay. You know what? I need someone to hold this because I want to keep on moving. Okay. Why did Mr. Lockwood spend the night at Wuthering Heights? Why didn't he move? No, I want you, when I ask a question, just raise your hand. I don't want to spoil answers. Okay? Why did Mr. Lockwood spend the night at the Wuthering Heights and not going back to the place he rented? Yasin. The weather was so bad, and he asked Mr. Heathcliff, "Can I stay in your house?" What was Heathcliff's response? Very good. He has no suitable room for him. So what did Mr. Lockwood do when Heathcliff refused? And no, it's not a torch. It's what? Lantern. He just grabbed a lantern and went out of the house. What happened next? Aisha. No, I want to hear Aisha. What happened next? The dogs attacked him. Who gave the orders for the dogs to attack Mr. Lockwood? Joseph, the servant, okay? Now, who took Mr. Lockwood and put him into a room and asked him to be quiet in that room? Zila. She took him into that room. But why did she tell him, be quiet, I don't want any sound coming out from that room? Halal.
Because Mr. Heathcliff doesn't want anyone to stay at that room.
Yeah, okay, very good. Because Mr. Heathcliff does not want anyone to enter or stay in that room. Okay. And Mr. Lockwood, while he was sleeping, he had a dream. Or in another word, we could say a nightmare. He had a nightmare. What was the nightmare? Yes, it's a nightmare. Adham. No, before the nightmare, he saw 3 names scratched or carved on the window ledge, okay? But what happened? Okay, names of Catherine, Earnshaw, Catherine, Heathcliff. Okay, what was the nightmare? He dreamt of what? A boy. He held, yes. Something was scratching the window. He broke the glass, put his hand in through the glass, but instead of getting hold of the branch, he got hold of what? The fingers of a boy. Very cold, okay? And it was whose ghost? Catherine. What did she say? What did she want? Abraham, I didn't hear your voice. What did she say?
She said that I was lost 20 years ago.
Very good. I was lost from 20 years ago, and she's asking for help. Now, let's move to chapter 2, and I ask you to read chapter 2. Now, before reading, okay, or before asking you questions, let's have a look at the picture. Now, who do you see? Who's this? Who's he? Heathcliff when he was a child. And that character? The wife. And the man who's holding the boy? Mr. Earnshaw. And we have Catherine and Hindley. Okay, now, Mr. Earnshaw went on a journey to Liverpool, okay? But before going to Liverpool, he asked his children what they wanted. What did they ask for? Ahmed, what did they ask for? Okay, Yassine.
Catherine liked to the horse riding, so she asked for something that I would do.
She Catherine liked the horse riding, so she asked for a whip. Okay, what about Henley? What did he ask for? A fiddle. What is a fiddle? It's a kind of, it's like a violin, instrumental music, violin, okay? And did he bring the things to to his children? Did he buy them?
Yes.
Yes, he did. Menna, did he buy them? I can't hear your voice. Okay, but the children were dissatisfied. The children were dissatisfied. He bought them, but they were dissatisfied. Why? Very hand. Okay, why was the fiddle broken? Why? The fiddle. Why was the fiddle broken? And that made Hindley so upset. Okay, remember when Earnshaw, he came from the journey and he had a bundle, okay, and it was covered with his coat. And when he opened the coat, we found a child, okay, a homeless, starving child. And Mr. Earnshaw got the fiddle for Hindley, but it was put in the pocket of the coat where it covered the child, but it was broken. And what about Catherine's whip? What happened to it? He got it for her, but what happened? It was lost. Why? All this because of The child, Heathcliff. That's why Hindley was so upset from Heathcliff. Okay, because he was the cause of the fiddle to be woken. Yes, so he hated him. They weren't in good terms. Later on, we'll know that they were not in good terms. But only Cassie and Heathcliff, they were friends. Okay. Now let's start. Let's start reading the first paragraph. I want Yassine.
Even though I had slight fever and still felt weak, my experience at Wuthering Heights had made me very curious about my landlord's families. That evening, when Nellie Dean, the housekeeper at Rushcroft Drank, brought me my dinner, I asked her what she knew about them. She said that they had employed her for 18 years. When I told her I had been to Wuthering Heights the previous day, she asked me what I thought of Heathcliff. He is a rough fellow. He must have had a difficult life to make him so unpleasant. So you know anything about him, Mr. Dean, Mrs. Dean? Almost everything.
Okay, thank you. Now, put in mind that first chapter, it was narrated by a character. What was his name? Mr. Lockwood. And then he went to when he went to his house, he started asking his servant. What's the name of the servant?
Nellie Dean.
Nellie Dean. Okay, Nellie Dean is the servant, and she has been working for the family, for the Earnshaw family, for
18
many years. 18 years. How did she go to Wuthering Heights?
Her mother worked there.
Her mother worked there as a nurse. And at that time, Nellie Dean was 14 years old. She was playing with Catherine and Hindley, because she was the same age as Hindley. Okay? Now, Mr. Lockwood wants to know the story of Mr. Heathcliff. He wants to know the background, okay? Mr. Heathcliff, he acts like a gentleman, that there is something behind his character. So he wanted Nellie to tell him his story, okay? He's like a gentleman, but there is something wrong behind the character, okay? So Nellie becomes, in chapter 2, Nellie becomes the narrator, the second narrator. She's the one who's going to tell us
Flashback.
the story of his, yes, very good, a flashback. She's going to tell us the story of the Earnshaw family, okay? Okay, let's move to the second paragraph. You read before?
Before I came to live here, I was at Wuthering Heights. My mother was nurse, the older of the two Earnshaw children, Hindley, Harriet's father. So as a child, I spent a lot of time with the Earnshaws at Wuthering Heights. One day, I remember Mr. Earnshaw saying that he was going to Liverpool, a journey of about 60 miles. He asked his two children what they wanted him to bring back for them. Catherine, barely 6 years old, loved horse riding and asked for a whip, while Hindley wanted a fiddle. Mr. Earnshaw was gone for 3 days. When he finally returned, he threw himself down in a chair and told his family to stand back to see what he had brought. He opened his huge coat and held out a bundle. See here, my wife. You must take this a gift from God.
From God. Continue.
He crowded round him and saw that he was holding a dirty black-haired boy. He was old enough to walk and talk, and was the child out
And
of
was probably
and,
older.
and was probably older than Catherine. Mr.
Just a second. Was probably older than Catherine. Okay. He came from Liverpool with a. He came from Liverpool with a child. What was the reaction of, before reading, what was the reaction of Mrs. Earnshaw?
To kick him out of the house immediately.
Yeah, she wanted to throw him out of the house, okay? they did not like the surprise. He had a surprise for them, but that was not a great surprise. They did not like it, okay? Continue, Talal, and then we move to the next paragraph.
Mr. Earnshaw wanted to throw the child, Mrs. Earnshaw
Mrs. Earnshaw, okay.
wanted to throw the child out of the house immediately, but Mr. Earnshaw told the story of how he had found him starving, homeless, and wandering the streets. He had tried to find his family, but he had been unsuccessful since he didn't have the heart to leave him on the street. He decided to bring the boy home.
Okay, thank you. Start reading. Next paragraph. Hindley. Hurry up. Just put it on the desk. Put it on the desk. Put it on the desk.
لا كده حلو كده. This is nice.
Okay. Just leave it like that. Continue reading.
Hindley, who was about 40 at the
time, continue.
at the time, was more concerned about his fiddle and burst into tears when he discovered it in his father's coat, broken in pieces. Catherine's whip had been lost on the journey. That night, both children refused to allow the new arrival to share their bedroom.
Just a second. So you see, both of them, Catherine and Hindley, they were so upset with Heathcliff. They were so upset with Heathcliff because he was the one who was responsible of the whip getting lost and the fiddle getting broken. Okay. Continue, and that's why they did not want him to share
the
bedroom. Continue after.
The Earnshaws called the boy Heathcliff, the name of a son who had died in childhood, and this name served him as both the first name and surname.
His first name and surname.
What is the surname?
That's the family's name.
Okay.
First name and surname. Remember, the Earnshaw had a boy, and he died in childhood. So they named, and that boy's name was Heathcliff. So they named the homeless boy after their dead son. Okay? So they called him Heathcliff. Continue.
Within days, Heathcliff and Catherine were good friends, but Hindley hated him. There were numerous arguments about Heathcliff, and a lot of bad feeling in the house. 2 years later, Mrs. Earnshaw died, and the family relationships worsened. Hindley felt that Heathcliff had stolen his place both in the house and his father's affections. As a result, he grew bitter. Heathcliff was aware of the hold he had over Mr. Earnshaw's affections and often used it to get his own way. I remember one occasion in the stables concerning the horses that Mr. Earnshaw had given to the two boys. Heathcliff's horse had become lame, and he wanted to exchange horses with Hindley. If you don't make the exchange, Hindley, I'll tell your father that you beat me last week, and I'll show him the bruises.
Okay, I would like you to underline, if you don't make the exchange, that's a very important comment, okay? If you don't make the exchange, Hindley, I will tell your father that you beat me last week and I will show him the bruises. That quotation is very important. It reveals Heathcliff's character at first, okay? Yes, Koala. Now, bruises, when you beat someone up, you beat him if you beat someone up on the hand. Now, it will turn blue. It will turn
blue and
that is the blue, okay?
And the bites will
and even the bites, if someone bites you, it will turn into blue. That's a blue also. Okay? So it means that Heathcliff and Hindley were all constantly
fighting.
They were constantly fighting their parents in good terms. Here we know something about Heathcliff. Now, Heathcliff is aware of Mr. Earnshaw's affection. You know, Mr. Earnshaw is a very sensitive, kind, generous person, and he was a starving boy, and he treated him as a son. Now, Heathcliff was aware that Mr. Earnshaw loved him so much and cared for him. So he is using that to, another word, to blackmail. He's using that to blackmail him. Okay. Now let's look at the picture. This is a picture at the stable, at the horse stable. This is Henley, and that boy is Heathcliff. Now, Mr. Earnshaw. He got 2 horses. He gave one to Heathcliff and one to Hindley. Now, the horse that belongs to Heathcliff, what happened to it? It became lame. When I say it became lame, can you see that picture over there? And the bandage around his leg means there is something wrong with his leg. He can't run as before or walk properly as before. So what did Heathcliff do when he knows that Mr. Earnshaw loves him so much, he has his affection, okay? So, another word, now Yasmin was asking me, what's the meaning of blackmail? Now, blackmail, when I say, you ask for the word blackmail? Lame. Lame, when I told you what's the meaning of lame. Now, blackmail is when I take, if you don't give me what you have, okay, I'm going to put you in trouble. This is blackmail. I take your, for example, I take your son. I take your son, and I would like money for that. Okay, give me the money, and I will bring you your son. Now, Heathcliff is treating Hindley this way, okay, and he told him, I want to exchange my horse that is lame with your horse, and if you don't agree, what will happen? I will tell your father and show him the bruises, and that Hindley will be in trouble if his father knows that. Okay. So this is another way he's blackmailing him. He's threatening him. Okay. Let's move to page 23. Okay. Who would like to read? Now, I want someone else. Perry Han, I want a girl's name. Girl's voice, come over here.
Hindley was furious. He threw an iron weight at Heathcliff. It hit him in the chest and knocked him to the ground. But he jumped up again. Hindley was shaking with rage. Take my horse then, steal it and steal everything that my father has. He kicked Heathcliff in the leg and then ran off. Heathcliff was cool and calm. He had Hindley's horse, and that was all he had wanted. I was the same age as Hindley, in my teen, and slowly began to learn about Heathcliff's nature. Like Hindley, I did not like Heathcliff at first, but when all 3 of them fell ill once, I noticed a striking difference between Heathcliff and the Earnshaw children. The illness was quite serious, and while Hindley and Catherine complained constantly, Heathcliff was as quiet as a lamb. He was too tough to complain.
Thank you. Okay, now 3 of them got sick. 2 of them were constantly complaining. That's Hindley and Catherine. But Heathcliff did not complain. He just kept calm. He was sick like that, but he kept calm. He's strong. And what else? Now, the difference of the way they were brought up. Now, we can see the difference.
He was had a hard life.
Very good, you see. He was homeless.
And had a hard life.
And had a hard life. He was left in the street. He's used to sickness. He's used to starvation. So he was trained to be patient. But what about Catherine and Hindley?
He's used to
Yeah, Catherine and Hindley, they were brought in a well-off family, and they had everything in the house, and they were spoiled. Okay, and because of a simple cold, they constantly complain. Okay, they are never patient to get well. Okay, so you see the difference. Two different ways of them brought up. Kathy and Hindley in a house with a well-off family, and he's with a bad life, so he was so patient with them. Okay.
They were from a rich family.
Continue.
Over time, Mr. Earnshaw's health began to get worse, and he became moody. Hindley was sent away to school, and I thought the house would be calmer. Unfortunately, there were two people who continued to stir up trouble. One was Joseph, the old servant who was obsessed with the Bible and saving souls. The other troublemaker was Castor.
Okay, now we know that Catherine is a troublemaker, and Joseph does not like that because he wants her to be calm, to do her prayers, to read the Bible, and so on. Okay? Continue, Perhan.
Catherine was extremely high-spirited and would sing and laugh all day long, but she was always misbehaving.
Just a second. What do I mean by high-spirited? Catherine was high-spirited. High-spirited, active, okay? When you are high-spirited, it means that you're always enjoying your time. You're always happy. You're always having fun, okay? You never get bored. Even if you're faced with a problem, what do? The problem passes and you enjoy your time, okay? Who's high-spirited here? Who's constantly high-spirited? No, one of the students. No high-spirited? You are high-spirited. No, sometimes sometimes I'm high-spirited, okay? No, high-spirited when you're happy, okay? Enjoying your time, doing things that you like, okay? Always, and I think that active. Okay, continue, Perihan.
She and Heathcliff were very attached to each other, and the greatest punishment that we could ever give her was to keep them apart. Her father hated the fact that she had more power over Heathcliff than he did, and he did not like her jokes. No, Kathy, I cannot.
Okay, just a second. Now, did you see that? The punishment, Kathy's punishment is to keep Heathcliff away from her. Okay? Because they became so close. They became best friends. Very good. They became best friends so close that her punishment, if she makes trouble, they would take Heathcliff away from her. That's her punishment. Okay? Continue.
No, Kathy, I cannot love you. You're worse than your brother.
Who said that? No, Kathy. I said all Mr. Earnshaw. Now, remember, Kathy, her mom died and she needs affection, okay? But Mr. Earnshaw is not pleased with Kathy's character. He's not pleased. He's not happy. He sees her as a disobedient girl, okay? That's why when she comes or she wants to hug him or comes to talk to him, he pushes her away and tells her, no, Kathy, I cannot love you. You're worse than your father. Go and say your prayers, okay? Like, go say your prayers, go pray. Go thank God for all the good things that we have. Go pray, yes, okay? Let's move to page 27.
Yeah, that's
Something happens, okay? And Hindley takes hold of the house and okay, let's look at that picture. Now, before reading, I'll tell you what. Mr. Earnshaw died, and we know that Hindley has been sent to school. school, okay? And after 3 years, now we know that he's old. He was 14, and now he's 17 around, okay? And he came with, when he knew that his father died, he came with his wife, grandson. Okay? At that age, people used to marry younger, at a younger age. Yes, please start to read.
Such regions made Catherine cry at first, but over time she hardened herself to it. Then one evening, Mr. Earnshaw died quietly in his chair. We were all sitting together in front of the fire when it happened. Catherine, Heathcliff, Joseph, and myself. Catherine and Heathcliff became terribly upset and started screaming and crying. Henry returned home for the funeral and brought with him his wife Frances. I thought she was just a weak, sickly woman with silly habits, but Henry adored her.
Adored her. Another word for adored?
Liked.
Loved her. Okay.
He had changed a lot in the 3 years he had been away, and was now much thinner and very pale. Even though he was only a young man, he immediately took one on the role of running the house and ordered Joseph and myself to the servants' rooms. At first his wife was pleased to have the company of another young woman, but soon she became bored with Catherine and began to dislike Heathcliff. She convinced Hindley to force Heathcliff to go and live with the servants and work on the farm.
Okay, thank you. Now, what happened? Things have been changed in the house. Mr. Earnshaw died. Hindley came with a wife, Frances, and he gets hold of the house. And how did they treat Kathy and Heathcliff? What happened? And she was with Catherine and okay, at first Frances, she was happy to have a friend, but then she got bored with her and she started disliking her. And Frances knows that Kathy is a best friend with Heathcliff. So what? She forced Hindley to very good, to take Heathcliff and make him sleep in the servants' room and to work with the servants on the farm. Okay?
Now he's a servant.
If you write it down. If you don't make the exchange, I will tell your father that
ناظر ولا منظر؟
Salah. What have you just done? Okay, Salah. When we finish, down to Mrs. Hannah's office. That's it. That you beat me last.
Will we write?
That you beat me last week, and I will show him. I will show him the bruises. That quotation. Who said that quotation? Yeah, these words were said by Heathcliff to Hindley. Where? At the horse stable. Yasmin, louder. If you don't make the exchange, I will tell your father that you beat me last week, and I will show him the book. These words were said by Heathcliff to Hindley. Where? At the whole stick. Okay. Let's find another color.
Will we write that?
So wait, yes, copy down the answer. These words were said in the horse stable. Heathcliff's, I'll just move, Heathcliff's horse became, or was, became lame, okay? Became lame. Heathcliff's horse, okay, I'll put it down here. Horse became lame, and as he knew that he had got hold of Mr. Earnshaw's affection. Very good. He, in another way, he threatened. We can have another word of blackmailed Hindley to exchange the horses or else he will show his father the bruises. Bruises, B-R-U-I-S-E-S. It's not clear down here, okay? There are only three questions. One comment and two open-ended questions. Yeah, but you have to write this down. Typing. You don't just do nothing. You have to type it. Okay? Just a second until they finish. Okay, one more minute. Okay, question number 2. How did Heathcliff become part of the Earnshaw family? Yes, me. Tell me. I'm going to write it down, but I want to hear the answer from your team. How did the Heathcliff become part of the Earnshaw family? Ahmed, listen.
For about 60 miles. He said when he was there, he found a homeless child. He tried to find his family. He searched for them, but he was not successful. So he hadn't successfully.
Okay.
So he hadn't had the heart to leave him in the street. So he took him with his house.
Okay, so he took him to his house. Very good. Okay, let's write this down. How did Heathcliff become part of the Earnshaw family?
Earnshaw family, Earnshaws or Earnshaw? Can be easier.
Okay. Let's try a different color. Let's take the green. Okay. And what? Still with the red. Mr. Earnshaw. Let's erase this, went on a trip to Liverpool. Went on a trip, T-R-I-P, to Liverpool. This is Liverpool, right in the Okay, let's undo it. No, there's something went wrong in here. No, we will undo it. Don't worry. That's it. Okay, I'll just change the color.
Did you want to?
Let's take the blue. It's darker and you can see clearer. Okay? Mr. Earnshaw went on a trip to Liverpool and found a homeless, starving, and decided so he decided to take him to his family. Now, how did his become part of the Earnshaw family? He found him in the street, homeless, starving, homeless without a home. Okay, so he decided to take him to his family. Okay. So he decided to take him back with him. And let's erase this. Decided to take him back with him. Okay? Mr. Earnshaw went on a trip to Liverpool and found a homeless, starving boy, so he decided. He decided to take him back with him. Whatever, to him, to the house, whatever. Okay, let's move on to, that's number 2. Let's move on to number 3. Now, how did things change at Wuthering Heights after the death of Mr. Earnshaw? Now, things changed in the house after the death of Mr. Earnshaw.
Relationship with the
Edward.
music came with
Yeah. Hindi returned home with Francis. Mr. Earnshaw died. Mr. Earnshaw died. So Hindley came back with his wife named Francis Earnshaw. When a woman marries a man, she takes the name, she leaves her father's name, and she takes the name of the husband, the husband's family. Okay? So Hindley married Francis. Now Francis became Francis Earnshaw. Mrs. Earnshaw died.
2 years.
Died. Yeah, after these two came to the house, after 2 years she died. And then later on, Mr. Earnshaw died. Died after 3 years, okay? And at that time, he went to school, and he was 17 years when Mr. Earnshaw died. He heard the news. He came with a wife, okay? Now, because of when they returned, things have changed. What changed in the house? Now, he starts running the house. Okay? When I say running the house, I mean he is taking care and ordering the servants and managing very good. Managing the house.
And this is in order to go and sleep.
Yes, okay. Did you finish the first number 2? Oh, no. Hurry up. I need to move on to question number 3. Hurry up. I need to write it down. Hurry up. It's just 1 minute and I'm going to erase it.
I wrote the question down.
Okay, while I'm writing it, I'm going to read. Okay? Move to another slide. Number 3. Question number. Let's start with the- How did things change at wuthering heights after the death of Mr. Earnshaw? After the death, Kingsley
Took the role of the house.
returned home, bringing with him his wife, Frances. Okay? He immediately
Took
started
taking the role of the house.
wanting the house and ordering everyone around.
What was his word?
Ordering everyone around. You do that, you stay here, you work there, just ordering everyone around, okay?
What was his word? The class teacher.
Of what class? I don't know. Okay.
I can see.
And something important, his wife encouraged him
To take his trip to the circus and work in the farm.
to pay his clip to stay in the servant's room
His wife what? His wife what?
and work on the farm. Let's read it. Okay, now how did things change at Wuthering Heights after the death of Mr. Earnshaw? After the death, Hindley returned home, bringing with him his wife, Frances. He immediately started running the house and ordering everyone around. His wife encouraged him to take his place to stay in the servant's room. Remember, he had a room of his own with the other children. Okay. She did not want him in. Because he's not one of the family. He doesn't take the name of the Earnshaw, and because she was very mean, she did not want him around. She treated him as a servant. Go stay with the servant and go work on the farm. Not to that extent, no. Okay? Because he has been living there for a long time. He has no house, no one to take care of him. So instead of throwing him outside, go stay with the servant and work as a servant. Okay? No, encourage E-N-C-O-U. C-O-U, okay?
Yes, something is wrong.